Welcome to Karpool with Kirsten, brought to you by Fempowerment, the show where extraordinary women share extraordinary stories. Over 300,000 followers, a single mom, 2 full-time careers, 0 excuses. Today's guest left Uzbekistan, landed in Dubai, and built a life others can only dream about. She runs HR by day, rules the internet by night, and somehow finds time to manage a household in between. We don't know how she does it, but today we're going to find out. My guest is none other than the beautiful Nilufar Yuldash. Welcome to the couple.
Thank you.
So for those who don't know you, can you give us the 30-second Nilufar story? Uzbekistan to Dubai. How did that happen?
It would take more than 30 seconds, but I'll try to be short. So I was 16 when I first visited Dubai for my sister's wedding with my family. And of course, Uzbekistan was small country at that time, not really developed. So I saw all these skyscrapers, very fast moving lifestyle. And I thought, that's me. I have to be in this country. So I counted days to turn 18 to gain my eligibility of independence, and immediately I moved to Dubai, and I had no plan, nothing, just printed many CVs to land the first job, to be able to get the residency and live in the city I've been dreaming of since past 2 years at that point.
So your first job was, you landed that in a week?
Yes.
Yeah, that's usually uncommon.
It
what
is,
would you
yeah.
recommend to those who want to move to Dubai, but that actually, would they need a plan? Because we didn't have one when we moved there.
We had no plan. All I had is like 50 CVs printed, and I had to go to the malls. It was still non-digital era, so nowadays it's hard to go to knock the doors of the stores and apply for a job. You do it online. So I guess it's now much easier. You can actually apply while being in your place. But I would say don't spend much time planning and organizing and hoping at a certain scenario. Rather, just take a risk. You want to be here, come and do whatever it takes to stay here. That's what I did.
Okay, well, what's your favorite thing about Dubai that you didn't expect to be when you first moved here?
Value of women, the way they value women. I come from a very cultural, religious country, not very religious, but we do have Islam as main religion, and culture and traditions are way stronger than our religion. So we were always taught that women have to speak less, women don't really need an education. All they have to do is marry, cook, bring kids, and be quiet as much as possible. But when I moved to Dubai, I learned that that's not in a religion, that's not in a normal culture. Women are appreciated here. Women have the rights to educate themselves, to choose their partners, to choose their lifestyle. And when you visit any organization, when you see the policeman, when you see anyone outside the streets, whenever they see it's a female, they show utmost respect, not just with words, but with even gestures, with eyes. And this is something that I really appreciate and haven't felt in any of the countries I visited so far.
So in Uzbekistan, you were obviously instilled in those beliefs that, a woman has to be quiet, she has to be conservative, she has to cook and clean and take care of the house. And then when you moved to Dubai, obviously, they were like, hold on.
Yeah.
That's not the case. You can be whoever you want to be. So was that like a struggle for you to rewire your internal beliefs in order to feel like, okay, I can actually do anything that I want to do?
No, it wasn't a struggle. It was my freedom. It was my freedom card. I'm like, okay. So obviously in Uzbekistan, I was taught how to cook from young ages. I had to take courses at age of 11 to learn to make this ramen. I actually can make these ramens from scratch.
Really?
Yes, it is a must thing to learn in my country to become a good bride, let's say, right? So we started learning everything. So, and I always had something different in me. I did not believe that I'm the type that spends hours in the kitchen and waits for husband. No, I'm not. I can bring so much to the world. And when I came to Dubai, obviously I was very young, and they see, oh, very fragile girl. But then when they spoke to me, they're like, oh, this girl has something more than just the face, or although she's young, she has a lot to offer. And they started like giving me opportunities. At my first corporate job, I had a lot of trainings that costed a lot, but they saw in me something and they supported for me to achieve and develop and build myself. So
That's beautiful. So
yeah,
they invested in you.
they did. A
Yeah.
lot of people invested in me.
So
Strangers, without anything back, you know. I do know that there are so many misconceptions about Dubai, and I always tell people, like, you can be who you want to be in Dubai. You want to be that person who will let people invest in you, and you return by giving back, by investing in others, by being positive and giving a hard work. You're free to do that. You want to go some other way, you're free to do that too, but stay away from it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like you've been met with a lot of kindness in your
Yes.
time in Dubai.
Yeah.
Has there ever been instances when you've been met with unkindness in Dubai?
I did a lot. I've seen a lot in this life. And another thing, when you're brought up in a very traditional cultural environment, you do get a lot of stereotypes in nationalities, in genders, in everything. And Dubai helped me to break those stereotypes. So we have how many? 190 plus nationalities, right? And I've seen so many people of different backgrounds, nationalities, ages, and everything, both good and bad, you know? So, and Dubai taught me to be open to anything that comes forward. If it's bad, to take the lesson and try to avoid in the future. If it's good, be grateful, give back.
That's beautiful. Well, I mean, you started with the kiosk in Mall of Emirates, and now you do HR and content creation. How did that happen?
Okay, I don't know. I just keep moving, I just keep rolling, and then I'm like, oh, that happened to me, you
Yeah.
know. I wasn't at the kiosk. I was at the store called Valencia.
Okay.
It's a shoes and bags. And I guess I was super competitive already at that age, because I was hired for Russian speaking customers. And we had like 4 or 5 Arabic speaking employees in the store. So I used to always sell equal to them, you know. So total of 4 or 5 people, amount would, whenever we close, and my amount would be equal as a lot. So I'm always like competitive. I like to prove, and you know, prove myself mainly. So that's how I go by flow, you know. I don't take no for an answer. So when I went to the store as sales executive, obviously that wasn't my dream job. I knew that this is something that would keep me in Dubai, and immediately I applied for driving license. I went to Knowledge Village to take courses to gain the eligibility to study here. And like, I was doing a lot. I used to wake up at 6 a.m. and I would go back to bed at 1 a.m. or something. And I was fine with it, because my purpose was to build myself. So that's how in 2 years I was able to have my driving license, my car. My brother-in-law helped me with that, because apparently I was still minor in Dubai.
Oh.
In Dubai, you are minor up to 21 years old, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't 21, I was just 20. And I went to showrooms with my brother-in-law, with my sister, to pick a car. They're like, oh, great, I put the deposit. And they're like, oh, banks will not give you any money, sorry. And that's when my brother-in-law stepped in, my brother stepped in. They gave me some cash to buy a second-hand car. I returned all the money. It was just a loan, but not from the bank, from the person. So then simultaneously, I was able to enroll to American college in Dubai and land my first corporate job. That was a miracle, to be honest. I
Yeah.
was selling to Chinese customers. The husband and wife arrived, and the wife was picking stuff. It was luxury Italian items, and the guy kept talking to me, and I'm like, that's very creepy. Why are you keep talking? Your wife is there and you look old. But he was like so genuinely interested in me because of my languages, because I speak 4 languages, or yeah, I'm learning fifth one. And then he asked some questions out of interest, and then he's like, oh, you enrolled to university, oh, it's just 2 years and you've done so much. So he was curious. Apparently he was curious to hire me for his company. And then more Chinese kept coming to my store and talking to me. And then at the end they handed over the business card and they offered the job, but I had to pass certain interviews. So then I had to run for these interviews, and they're very strict. They do English test, math test, psychological test. There were a million interviews that I attended, and my sister said, probably they won't hire you, like you're putting so much effort. But I landed the job. Initially, the job again had no title, nothing. They just hired me because they were planning to spin off from their sister company and have independent license and everything, office. So they said, okay, just hang around. When we move to a new office, you will be the receptionist. And I was fine with this, but I did not work even a day as a receptionist, because while we were waiting for an office, I was supporting finance department, HR department, admin department, and then I was able to give some solutions without education, without any experience. Then they found that I can do so much more than a receptionist, and they eventually I ended up in HR department. That's where my career in HR has started.
Before we get into your career and the growth from that big salad, you mentioned that your sister said that you wouldn't be able to get the job, that you're spending so much time, but it's not going to be worth it.
Yes.
How did that feel for you, for your support system to actually tell you that? Because it's a waste of time.
I'm too optimistic. I'm very positive, and I always have that intuition in me. When, I know like something I'm getting, and I will put all my efforts into it, even if it takes months or years, and eventually I get it. But then if I feel that it's not mine, I naturally don't put an effort, so I know it's not. So when I am very confident that I'm getting something that I want, and even if, forget my sister, even if my entire ancestors would line up and tell me and scream, Nilufar, you're not getting, I would be like, all right, that's what you think. I'll prove you wrong. So I don't think it really affects me in general.
I love that. I feel like more women should have this belief that any noise that you hear that's, oh, you'll never amount to this, oh, you can't do this, or you're not good enough, it should literally just be background noise. Like, I know what I'm capable of. I know that I can do this, and that's all that matters, to believe in yourself.
True.
Okay. People know you as a fashion and a lifestyle creator. And when they find out that you actually have a whole career in HR, how do they react when they find this out?
Yeah, I do believe that I have multiple personalities in me.
Okay.
I'm very misleading. So I have different friends, different circles. So you mingle, you meet the other friends through friends, and then someone will introduce me as a blogger, right? And then everyone, oh, blogger. And then they're like, oh, you do so much. And then they're like, oh, is your money enough? I'm like, no, I have a corporate. They're like, what? You also have a job? I'm like, yeah, I do. What's the problem? Blogging is my hobby. Yeah. It's just something I like showing as it helps people, but then it's not my main thing. I never considered it as a main thing. My job is my life. And then they're like, whoa. And they get really confused, and I'm used to this. Initially it would affect me, and I'm like, why do you try to demean me as like, but then now I realize that that's how I come across. I have that very easy flowing personality, so people might not expect much, but then they start watching, they're like, oh, she was in the office, or she's saying she's in a business trip, what does she do? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of my thing now to trick people, maybe.
I mean, yes, I 100% believe in like, oh, playing this innocent role, and then it's like, boom, I have a whole career, and
Yes.
it's comes to a complete shock to everyone.
Yes.
But do you feel like when people look at you and they see, oh, this beautiful put together woman, oh, she's posting her nice life, and then they underestimate your intelligence because of this?
They do. They people are very, I work with people, so people are very interesting creatures, to be honest. They like you to be just a blogger in general. Unfortunately, this is it. And it does start, like, it starts annoying them once they learn that you're so much more than just a blogger, right? Nothing to undermine bloggers, by the way. I do this as well, so I'm not against it. If you're doing it full time, perfect, amazing, and I'm proud of people who does it for full time, because it's not easy. It's very difficult. It is a full time job. But then I like to, I'm proud of my corporate life, and I like to talk about that more. So people actually prefer you to be that.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't affect me. It actually makes me, it just, I don't know, it just proves to me that I should always keep going. I should always keep showing people that not just me, anyone, any female can do so much more. Like, especially nowadays, you see so many articles about how, imagine how much would women achieve if they had a wife at home cooking for them and all.
Mm-hmm.
So I try, kind of, not out of a negative side or anything. I just try to support that, show it with my life. Even if you watch me on Instagram, you will realize that I don't share big words. I don't like give this wise advices. I barely talk. I just show my life. And then they reach out to me as DM. They're like, don't you feel tired? Don't you feel like exhausted at times? And then I share my tips on time management, on this and that. So I think it just motivates me more when people get that unexpected reaction. I'm like, gotcha.
Well, it sounds like you're a bit more interested in your corporate job as opposed to social media. So,
Yeah.
how did you actually become a content creator when you were so focused on your corporate career?
Yeah. So as I said, that's why I believe I have double personality.
Mm-hmm.
I have my two sides. So I can be that serious, cold corporate person,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can be that playful, a little bit crazy person. And I've learned throughout my life that if I don't fit both sides of my personality, I will lose myself. So I cannot deep dive into one thing. And the best way is to have multiple things. Like, it's just my personality, and I accepted it. I love traveling. I love changing environments. I love challenges. Even at corporate life, I never been an HR specialist. I'm an HR generalist, because the moment I do something routine and similar, like, it bores me out. So I love being, I love having many things. So what happened is, another person to be grateful for is my friend Nadine. We studied with her at college. We became mothers at same time. I had my son after 6 months. She had her son. She would often reach out to me for advices in terms of maternity, and that's when she already started her Instagram account. And once we were having lunch, she actually told me about it. I had no idea. I used to have Instagram as private account and just share pictures there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, why don't you open account? And I'm like, so million people see my life? I'm like, no, thank you. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I learned so much from you as a mother. I always reach out to you for advices. You can help so many women out there. And I'm like, wow. And she taught me how to use the web, about the websites, about writing, blogging, and everything. That's how I started, and it picked up. I was like, whoa, I can do that too. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do that. But yeah.
Well, I mean, you're very open about being a single mom, especially in the part of the world where it's relatively quiet and conservative to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
What made you decide to be open about this and share the information publicly?
Yeah. By the way, it's changed now.
Yes.
People are very open. In my times, it was a big taboo. Oh, she's a single mom. Oh, how come? But when I'm a single mom, not by choice. My ex-husband left us. He just one day I came home, there was nothing. So we had this with mother-in-law topics, and also I came home again, my intuition, and I had that feeling that my mother-in-law is out of my house, and I'm like, yes. I went to her room, nothing is there, and I'm like, yes, she's out. But then, while celebrating her leave in her room, suddenly I had another intuition that maybe my ex also left. I don't know how I get these intuitions. So I went to our bedroom. I opened his wardrobe, nothing is there. And I'm like, shoot. So that's how I became a single mom. And obviously I called him. I'm like, what are you doing? His condition was to beg and bring back his mom in order to save the family. I'm like, no, I did not marry your mom. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I cried. I cried crazily. And I called my mom crying. I never cried that hard. And she was like, oh my God, you cannot love the person so much. I'm like, what? What love? What person? I'm not talking about my ex. She's like, why you're crying? Okay, he left, whatever. Why are you crying? And I'm like, do you know how expensive it is to raise a kid in Dubai?
Mm-hmm.
So she was laughing. So we still remember and laugh about it. And I hate the fact because obviously it was more of a love from my ex-husband's side rather than from my side. Everyone believed that it's temporary, he's gonna return. So I hid it from everyone for a year. For a year I lived my life quiet, crying on whenever it's possible. I used to drive and cry, I used to sleep and cry, wherever I would cry, because life taught me that I cannot plan my perfect life. I'm not in charge of my life. I have to learn to be submissive, to accept what comes to me, or to go by flow. So for a year I lived this life. Only super super close people of mine knew the reality, but social media had no idea. At that point I had 10,000 followers who had no idea about my reality. And Insaf, another female to be grateful for, Insaf gave me a call. She's like, Nilufar, I'm having an event about for in October for it's a pink month, so I'll be inviting as speakers the cancer survivors, but I want to make it much more than just cancer survivors, but also share the stories of females who has other struggles and overcame those struggles. Would you be open to talk about your, because would you be open to talk about it? I'm like, sure, why not? I had that courage. And at the event, in front of, I don't know, minimum 50 females, I shared my story, and most of them sitting there were the females I knew, and they would interact with me at events, meet me at coffee shops. They had no idea that my ex left, and I've been living for a year alone with my son. So when I shared, everyone shared on their social media and blew up. That's when I started gaining a lot of followers, and then I received a lot of messages from other females being grateful for my openness because I shared very deep details and they wanted more. That's when I realized that my story could be a healing story to someone else. It could be a motivation to someone else or a simple support to that woman who is sitting and crying day and night, like I've done a year ago. Like there is a hope. The life doesn't end when when your husband leaves you or when something happens. So that's when I started sharing my singlehood, and I'm fine with it now.
Did you ever get closure from when he left? Like, was there a conversation that you guys had, or was your
No,
success the closure that?
there's no closure, but I don't need a closure. I get my own closure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, being a single mom is not easy. Having to do the job of two as one. How do
It's
you
not.
manage, being a mom, having a career, managing social media?
Yeah.
How do you not burn out?
I do burn out, but I control those burnouts. So another thing is that there are types of single moms. There are types where the husband is still there. So you, they help with finances, you share the custody, kid visits their houses and all. And I feel that it's tougher for them compared to me. In my case, there is no financial help. There is the father is out of picture completely, so it gives full authority to me. And like I decide where we travel, I decide where we stay, what he does, and so on. So this makes my life much easier.
Mm-hmm.
And time management, good time management. And then the other thing is that the biggest thing that I learned actually by becoming a single parent, that you should be fine when your plans don't go as planned, and you should learn to go by flow. That's when it gets easier. So when I accepted that the perfect day is not the day. Some days you can just skip school, be sick at home, do nothing, and that is okay, and you need that. Some days you can just take a break, travel somewhere, escape the reality, recharge yourself, come back and return to your routine, and that is okay too. So you once you accept those weaknesses, let's say, because those were my, like, I can't be sick, I have work, I have a
Mm-hmm.
child, like who will do my job? So it was a taboo. I used to work on weekends because I used to think, oh, like I'm not a good employee if I don't work on weekends. But once I learned that I'm a human and I have my emotions, I have my needs, and apart from being that perfect single mom, I can be me whenever I want to. Things got really much easier.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, being a single mom and managing everything is tough on its own and still having time to take care of yourself. And then you bring dating into the picture.
No
What's it?
dating.
No dating?
Not for the past 3 years.
And before that?
I tried.
Mm-hmm.
I tried dating a younger guy, an older, because everyone said, oh, you pick young guys, they're stupid. And I'm like, okay, I'll pick older guy. I
Mm-hmm.
picked older guy, and I'm like, they're same.
They are.
Yeah. So then I thought, okay, maybe that's not my thing. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's not something I am good at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm single and I'm happy. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even try. Like my friends laugh at me. They're like, "Yeah, your prince will knock at your door while you're Netflixing at night on your own." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have time for it."
Is there a part of you that longs to have that family bond again and have a companion with you for life? Or have you just made peace with it's me and it's my son and that's okay?
I guess I made peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we have this. I just can't imagine someone being able to catch up with our structured lifestyle, which is not easy. Like, we travel every quarter. like if not more than that. And my son's life is busier than my life. He is successful academically, sports wise. He does two sports, karate, football. In summer we have to be at football camp, and then throughout the year competition there, competition here. We had to travel in the middle of nothing without any plan. We had to travel to US for his World Scholars Cup competition. So his life is busier than mine. Mine is very busy. In the morning, I get my coffee. I drop my son straight to training, and I'm not gonna give it up. I don't make breakfast for anyone. And then after training, I take a quick shower and start working. In between, I eat, but then I don't move from my desk. So then when the day is over, I go to pick up my son, and then I take him to his activities. So where is time for a man? I would feel sorry for a man who will decide to be with me, because the only time he will get is like one of the weekends if he's lucky. Yeah.
Okay, what's one of the misconceptions that people have about being a single mom? What would you like to change if someone thinks of a single mom?
Single, when you say, oh, I'm a single mom, oh, poor thing. This I would change.
Yeah.
Because we're not poor things. We're the happiest things.
I think we're a lot stronger than other people think.
Yeah.
And I think that when they look at us, they think, oh, she's doing this all by herself. She must be struggling. But you're right. You don't have to answer to anyone. You don't have to think about, oh, I need to cook dinner for this person. Or I need to be considerate of if I make these plans. It's like, okay, this is my life. This is my child's life. And this is our life together. And that's all that I don't need to ask permission.
Yeah.
I can just do it on my own.
Yeah. I'm not really against the marriage, though. Like, I respect marriage if it is built right way, if it's more of a partnership. And I do have almost all my friends are married women. And then when we have to plan something, they go, oh, I need to check with my husband. And I'm like, oh, poor thing. Yeah, they have to change that misconception that single women are not poor things.
Yeah, we actually have a lot more freedom than you would think.
Yeah.
Okay. When you think of empowerment, what does it mean to you? And not the Instagram polished version, the actual authentic Nilufar version.
Women empowerment? So, I've had this long corporate life, and in my corporate life, a lot of support I received is from men. Men are supportive generally. They support each other. They never go against each other, to be honest. And they are happy to support women when women ask for support. And that was my history. And entire my career, female leaders were the ones who didn't want to support me, who would want to close my ways, So, and I had that stereotype that all female leaders are bad, So, although I didn't really work with women, I always worked with men. And when it comes to work, I'm so confident and comfortable with men. But I'm completely opposite in relationships. So that's another thing. But then last year, if you asked me last year, I would be giving you a different answer. Last year, I had some difficulties in life due to female leaders. And I'm like, okay, all these females, they don't know what is women empowerment, support, nothing. And I was so negative about this. Then I've changed my job, and now I have a female leader, and she proved me wrong. I report to her the support she gives me, the motivation she gives me by simply letting me be who I am. So if I have ideas, she will literally schedule a call with C-levels. Nilufar has an idea, speak up, not stealing my work, but actually being supportive. So she doesn't bring these big words, bold, big words, but in reality, she just shows, oh wow, oh this, and then she doesn't micromanage me and everything. And this is the same thing. So she proved me wrong, and she showed what is women empowerment by accepting who you are and letting you be who you are. And by accepting means supporting you with that, motivating you, give you guidance and everything. And the same thing in my personal life. I have a lot of female friends, right? And I've met frenemies, friends, and everywhere. So all these friends who I'm friends with for like long years are very successful entrepreneurs.
Just 1 second. They're saying that we're about to make a turn and it's bad for audio. They're saying that we need to just stop for a second. You okay? Feeling okay? Everything's fine? Okay. I'm just making sure you're comfortable as well.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're really good at this.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you do interviews quite often?
Not very often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not often.
I wouldn't say that. You make my job so easy, to be honest.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love people like
I just
you.
feel like I talk a lot.
I love people like you. I love when you guys just like have the floor and I can just like I don't even stick to questions because it's just the general conversation flows so naturally.
Yeah.
That's why they said hold on, Grace, on film while we're making a turn.
Yeah, good day.
Because last time I have a blue mark in my face from how the mic
sorry.
literally wham in my
Wow.
face. Luckily, no one was in the van. It was on the way back to the office. And as I was like on the phone with my brand strategist, and then I was just talking to her, blah, 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 all of a sudden the mic just hits me blah, in my face. And I'm like, what just happened? And I mean, this covered with concealer and foundation, but there's like an actual bruise underneath.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, that's why they said now, like, oh, guys, hold on. Just hold the mics and like just don't speak. Yeah. Because we've had a couple episodes where it's like, oh, everything's like out of control.
Yeah.
But you're doing
People
really well.
drive crazy.
I don't drive, so.
You don't? Oh, I drive, and I'm crazy one.
I only drive people insane, but I don't drive cars.
Good.
Yeah. When I was, I think, 19,
yeah.
The father of my kids, he bought me a car, a Porsche, as a wedding gift. And
wow, you had a rich guy.
yeah, came with lots of problems.
I can imagine.
And I didn't understand at that time. First of all, it's your fault for like buying me a car when I didn't even have a learner's license. What were you thinking? I blame you, right?
Yeah, of course.
I thought that you only need to look one way at a four-way intersection. I thought you only look in front of you. I don't think I need to like take accountability for the two lanes besides me. And we almost like slap dashed into a taxi. And he slammed my hand on the brakes, basically, like my legs on the brakes. Like he pushed it down. Otherwise, we would have died. And from then, he sold the car and he was like, "You're never allowed to drive again." I was like, wow.
Yeah. Don't buy a Porsche car to the one who is not experienced.
Yeah, like, I blame you. I was just thinking this is a go-kart. This is your fault. After that, he was like, absolutely. I said, no, never driving again. And then I was only allowed to drive cars in the parking lots. Like if I wanted to test one of the new sports cars, I was only allowed to drive it in the parking lots. Yeah. But I mean, as much as they had privileges, there were so many disadvantages of being his wife. Yeah. I was in... Okay. Do we remember where we picked up? Okay.
And I have also friends in my personal life, successful entrepreneurs, successful in their careers. Like, there is no expectation. We meet when we want. Whenever I need a support, they're there for me. Whenever they need a support, vice versa. So I believe women empowerment is not those bold statements and screams about it. It's more of a subtle way of supporting other women by letting her be who she is and be there for her.
Do you think that you were met with the unkindness from your content career as well? I mean, socializing with all the women that's in content creation?
Yeah, I don't deal with them.
Really?
I'm like, hi, bye.
So
they are different from me. Yeah. So at least in my niche. So I'm usually meet like mommy bloggers and stuff. So we're different, you know. There's nothing wrong. There are, I wouldn't generalize. There are like handpicked ones I'm in touch with. I message, I watch them, and I'm happy to see them. But unfortunately, vast majority is there to grab the market, to get aggressive, to create a competition. And initially, I used to be part of like big groups where we discuss, and then obviously I get a lot of campaigns because I've been in the industry for so long, and they're like, why you're getting, I'm not getting, like, give my name. I'm like, okay, but they cannot get, when the brand launches a campaign, they have to have one mother, one fashion, one makeup, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
cannot bring all the mommy bloggers into the campaign. So
Yeah.
they don't have that understanding, that marketing strategy background to respect others' work. And so it gets sometimes ugly. That's what I experienced, and I'm out of it
So, do
completely.
you feel like the skills that you developed in your HR career works hand in hand with your content creation career?
Yes, because I had that. I was lucky. I have business administration background, so I do have a knowledge of marketing strategies, the PR and networking, leadership. You need all of that. Finances. You need to know how to manage, how to negotiate with the brands. They don't come to you, oh, we're gonna pay you this amount. They're like, oh, what are your rates? You know, you have to have that negotiation skills to get the best out of it. And I would say my corporate life, my education build supported me to build what I have now without an agent and so on. I did have some agents in between at later stage, but then like I'm comfortable doing it on my own. Whereas every second person is a blogger now, yeah, a content creator now, and they just come, they see these easy pictures, and they spoil the market. They reach out to brands, they want to work for free, and I try to bring sense to them. And I'm like, listen, if a brand needs a model, a promoter, the girl who studies, doesn't do anything, just has to be a face of a picture, they pay per hour. And why are you begging them to work for free? They don't get it, like, you know. So they kind of spoil the market. And so due to all of these disagreements and differences, thought it is peaceful for them and me to to not interact with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you mentioned the word negotiations now, like, you know, knowing your value, knowing your worth.
Hmm.
What advice would you give to new content creators that are trying to emerge into this market?
Yes.
How do they go about things of, negotiating with brands, deciding what's best for them, what they shouldn't take?
Yeah.
What advice could you give?
I would say to keep a balance. So don't go super commercial and greedy, but don't go super naive as well. Know your value, know what you're bringing, and negotiate. Like, okay, you can work for free. There are barter collaborations that lead to paid campaigns at the end of the day. But at least if you're getting a barter collaboration, that has to substitute your work, your hours you're spending for, right? So you could negotiate on a service, on a product that is equal of your rates value, let's say. But honestly speaking, I started earning when I had only 500 followers. So I do know that you don't really need to beg for free work.
Mm-hmm.
If you know your value, you can sell yourself. At the end of the day, your Instagram account is your brand. And if you don't sell it, what is it for?
You mentioned that content creation is a lot more difficult than what it looks like. So, what would you say that your average content creation day looks like in terms of like filming, producing, scripting, etc., etc.?
I would say the emotional part is not easy because you have to be in that mood. There are days when we have a shooting and the videographer guy is from my country. And he smiles. He's like, "You're not at mood at all today." I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah, how do you know?" It shows. It shows. Your work is not there. You like, if you take artists, they always need that muse, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the same thing with content creation. You need to be in a mood. You need to be there to be able. And then the negotiation part is there. You have to be able to catch that campaign, because there was every second person is a content creator. There are so many in the market. If you don't give the right rate, you're gonna lose that campaign, for example. And it's also exhausting. And the worst part is receiving your money afterwards. So you put your efforts for negotiation, for preparing, creating content, thinking of the ideas is there also. Of course, now AI is there to help us with the script, but then you still need to work on it. You need to edit it, put your personal touch to it, right? So, and all of these are eff- effortful for me, at least, because I have my full-time life, my full-time job and everything. So I would say, and at the end, they don't pay you on time. The delays
Mm-hmm.
are there. The contract payment terms are not followed, and it's exhausting because you don't want to lose your relationship with the brand, with the PR, but then simple things are not made, not arranged. So you have to go into this next level of negotiation to receive your hard earned money. So I would say overall, not the technical part, not anything, but the emotional part of it is very difficult in every step of it.
Speaking of the emotional part, you
Yeah.
have a lot to manage in your life in terms of all the careers, being a mom, being a single parent, being a woman. Has there ever been a point in time where you thought, I cannot do this alone? And how did you get through it?
Yeah. I think, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I thrive with challenges.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I create challenges, you know? Like even at work, because we're talking about empowerment, female empowerment, and it's my favorite topic, but in a way of how I explain to you. So even at work, I could just simply do my job, right? But I always create something. I create challenges, the new initiatives, the new programs, and it is exciting. So every time my manager has to hold my horses, she's like, Nilufar, you need to like slow down. It's fine. And I'm like, no, we have to
Mm-hmm.
keep moving,
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
rolling. So recently as well, I was in Seychelles. I was by the beach. My son was doing online education. Because of the spring holidays, our holidays got delayed and everything, all the changes happened and it affected. So we had to travel in the middle of school period, and I was bored. And then I started working, and then I questioned my manager. She's like, "Aren't you on holidays?" I'm like, "I am." She's like, "I'm not answering your question." I'm like, "But I need it. I'm bored." She's like, "Bye."
Mm-hmm.
So I do create those challenges and difficulties because I thrive with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wouldn't. I think if I stopped doing my job, if I stopped creating content or anything, I think I would feel miserable.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the days when I get sick and I have to be home and lie by the couch and do nothing, I'm the most miserable person in the world.
Oh.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate being sick. I don't accept it because like there is nothing to look forward, you know? Like you don't dress up, you don't put makeup, you don't smile like, okay, what do you do? Nothing? That's
Yeah.
not my thing.
We're almost there. So let's do rapid fire questions, okay? Best spot in Dubai to clear your head.
Best spot in Dubai
To clear your head.
to clear my head. My area. Town Square. I love that area. Because
Okay.
it's so cozy.
Mm-hmm. One outfit that always makes you feel powerful.
One word?
One outfit. You want to run it from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. Rapid fire questions, okay?
Okay.
Best spot in Dubai to clear your head.
My area, Town Square.
One outfit that makes you feel powerful.
One outfit is anything in black.
I love that. Coffee or chai?
Coffee.
Never chai?
Never.
What's your coffee order?
Latte, oat milk.
A woman alive or dead that you would like in your passenger seat today.
That's difficult one because then you would need like million seats.
If you could only pick one.
Oh, no, I will upset everyone I know.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I guess.
I would say my grandmother. I don't want to be sentimental, but the only woman that I really in awe of is my grandma because she comes from a like very cultural background. She's like almost 90 and she's so wise. Like when I don't feel tired to speak to her. So yeah, maybe my grandma.
That's beautiful.
She's still alive.
Okay. If you could travel back in time, what's one thing that you tell yourself?
No stereotypes.
No stereotypes. Elaborate.
Be open to everything. That was I think a lot of opportunities I lost in life and a lot of chances that I lost in life due to my close personality that I had in the past.
Okay, well, we're almost there. So, last question. If this is the only podcast that a woman watches this year, what would you want them to take away from this conversation?
Never take no as an answer. Keep going. If you want that, you will get it.
Well, Nilufar, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show today. Is there anything that you want to let the listeners know before we log off?
Stay positive. Always.
To all the single moms listening, this one's for you. To all the immigrant women that's building from scratch, this one's for you. To all the women that's holding down a career, a child, and a dream, this one is absolutely for you. If Nilufar's story inspired you today, be sure to follow her at Nilufar_Yuldash. And remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss who's next in my passenger seat. Until then, remember, your only limit is your mindset. Are we done? Yes?